Wow, what the fuck have I just watched? Oh my god. Newcastle United 4, Paris Saint-Germain 1. I haven't said Paris Saint-Germain in years. I usually just say PSG. But yeah, this is West Ham Fan Reacts. I'm a West Ham fan. I do West Ham content. But I will be doing videos on other teams as well, just to expand the channel a bit. And wow, yesterday we saw two teams that are trying to get back to the top from what they were with Arsenal and Manchester United, and both losing, one at home very embarrassingly and one away from home as well. But today, Manchester City won. I haven't seen the goals back, but Newcastle just beat PSG 4-1. And I was very scared. I didn't know. Usually I already have a prediction in my head of what's going to happen. I did not know what was going to happen. And when I saw Dan Burn starting, I'm like, okay, yeah, cool. He does turn up sometimes in big games, and he has dealt with wingers before, and he is Eddie Howe's reliable man. But I just think if Newcastle want to move on, they will have to look at the left back position eventually. And maybe Lewis Hall might be the future with that, with Dan Burn coming in. But listen, Dan Burn was amazing, not just his goal, but he was amazing tonight. He got done in a couple times. Like I would say, actually not even a couple, just once by Dembele in the first half, and that was it. And listen, Newcastle, well done, man. Well done to Eddie Howe. He set him up correctly. They've got a few injuries as well. And without Sven Botman, Jamal Lascelles stepped up as the captain. When you see Fabian Schär and Jamal Lascelles as a centre-back partnership, you think back to an era of Newcastle that wasn't that good. In fact, you could always see the qualities in Fabian Schär, but not in Jamal Lascelles. And, wow, they blew them away today. And I've, I've always come to the opinion that Luis Enrique is a bit overrated as well. As a manager, I think, yeah, fair enough, he did blow up Barca. I'm not going to just say that was just because of the players as well. But I've always found his football a bit boring. Especially with Spain in the World Cup, like just gone. Apart from the individual magic he had at Barcelona, I've only ever seen him at Spain. And what I watched, I think it was, I tried to watch a bit of the Marseille game, and it just got a bit boring. So I switched over to the Madrid derby at the time, and I tried to watch their first game in the Champions League. I ended up switching over as well. It was a bit boring, and it might have been because PSG were playing against sides that just want to defend. Newcastle will choose when to sit back and when to press from the front and when to sit in their shape, etc. They don't overcomplicate things. Newcastle, they keep it simple. And Eddie Howe's, one of his best attributes is getting the best out of players that are not that good. You can see that at Bournemouth, where these are players that I think some of them played in League One, some of the players that played for Bournemouth in the Premier League in the first few seasons when he came up. And Eddie Howe managed to make Bournemouth a steady Premier League team for years. And there's only so long they could have gone on for. And with Newcastle, he's learned from not just to be an all-out attack manager, he can structure out a defence. And we saw this live in the flesh last year. We all did. And we saw what Newcastle were really about last year. And to be honest with you, he's done extremely well. Extremely well with some of the players he have. And Newcastle, yes, they have spent, but it's not like they've bought all world-class players. They haven't got a world-class player yet. Gimaresh could maybe be a world-class player, maybe if he still can develop. Maybe he'll just be in a tier below throughout his career, but he's still a fantastic midfielder. So is Tonali. A decent midfielder from what I've seen so far at Newcastle, and he could be even better. He's still young. Longstaff and Dan Burn, it must have meant so much to them as guys who support Newcastle from the area, local boys, to get on the score sheet. And when PSG scored, it didn't look like PSG were going to come back. And I can't believe it took them so long to check that 2-0 one. I know you had so much time. I know you had so many things to check. But come on, man, we all knew, like, you could just see from one replay, like, that it's not offside, and the ball went in the net. But I guess they used the automated robotic offside system that they have to wait for. I don't know how long that takes. We have no transparency in VAR, which seems to be the theme of this week, so I can't really speak too much about it, but come on, man. You shouldn't have taken that long. But well done to Almiron as well, because I don't think he has started off as well as he should have in this season. But the past couple of games, he has stepped up. And yeah, like, I think the Almiron's main attribute is just scoring goals. Like, he's a goal scoring winger, but his main, probably, I guess, deficit is the right word, where he's a bit like Anthony in the sense where if it's on the right foot, if you're through an attack and it goes on his right foot, he will delay the whole attack because it's on his right foot. And he'll always find it on his left, which can become a bit predictable. But he is a goal threat. And I don't know what Marquinhos was doing. Every time I watch Marquinhos, I don't watch Liga all the time, but every time I watch Marquinhos, he never screams to me world class centre back that you need to win the Champions League. And PSG have wanted to win the Champions League for years. They never looked like winning it. I never ever thought that PSG were ever going to win. I never thought they were ever going to win the Champions League. But at the same time, that would have been the standard for them. And Marquinhos has never screamed to me like that. Fair enough, you got Milan Skriniar now. You finally got a good centre back, apart from Thiago Silva. But people like Kimpembe, Marquinhos, not sure. Ugarte didn't have his best game for PSG today. And I think Luis Enrique kind of set out the midfield very wrong with inexperienced Zaire Emery, who's on the rise. I haven't watched enough of him, but people have been saying a lot of good things about him. And this Ugarte guy was highly rated. Even Chelsea wanted him. Chelsea wanted literally every footballer that was under 25. But yeah, and I think they kind of went 4-2-4, and I think they tried to dominate Dan Burn a bit by putting two pacey guys on his side. But yeah, Enrique set the team out all wrong, and Eddie Howe just set the team up the way he knows best. And it worked. I'm not saying if PSG had a three-man midfield that they would have won, because I don't think they would have. I still think they would have lost. But yeah. And Kylian Mbappe, I don't think he got the ball enough today, but his body language, yeah, it does need to be said. Like, he didn't want to be there. He didn't want to be there. And he got way too frustrated and way too rattled with the fact that not only was he not getting enough service, he wasn't getting enough of the ball in general. It felt like all the attackers from PSG forgot how to control a ball in general today. It felt like no one was controlling the ball. It felt like it was just bouncing off them all the time. That's what it felt like watching PSG today. But yeah, Mbappe, definitely wasn't his day at all. Getting frustrated all the time. They were all begging for fouls in that PSG team. But that's the way it is. But overall, very happy for Newcastle to see them doing well in the Champions League. I've got nothing against Newcastle. Just hope we beat them on Sunday. Obviously, they've got a game today. We've got a game tomorrow. So maybe we'll be slightly more rotated, even though I don't think we should be. But that should be an interesting game. And I do fancy our chances still, because we're at home. And I think we should be trying to beat teams like Newcastle and Aston Villa and Brighton to show that we are in that calibre as well. But that's a conversation for another day. You'll see my Newcastle preview on Friday and a match reaction to the Freiburg game tomorrow. Make sure to leave a like on the video, guys, and subscribe to your new social medias are in the description if you want to follow me, and the email for any inquiries. We are on the road to 200 subscribers. Make sure to subscribe, please. And I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.